The Tao of Self-Confidence, episode 855. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. Visit our website at thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Your inner journey to self-confidence awaits. Well, hello, friend. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. I'm your host today, Sheena Yap Chan, and today I have an amazing lady on the show today. She is a career and leadership coach focusing on immigrant women leaders, and I'm so excited to have her on the show today. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Wen Su. Wen, how are you today? Maybe you can fill in a little bit more about yourself to the listeners.
Yeah, thank you, Sheena, for having me. Yeah, it's exciting to be here. So I am a first generation Taiwanese American founder and Wen coaching. So my background was actually in tech industry. I spent around 15 to 20 years as an engineering leader in tech. And in the process of like climbing the career ladders, I found myself, in the a concept of confidence. I feel I'm gaining confidence as I climb up, but at the same time, I also lost confidence because I was trying to kind of like play the game of like showing up as how I thought I was expected to in the corporate world. So the more I got promoted, the more I also doubt myself. Oh, was that really me? Who get recognized? So in that process, I really feel like I was exhausted, kind of like leaving a part of myself out, and also feel the need to prove myself like again and again and again. And thankfully, for myself, I found a coach, and it is really the beginning of me opening myself up to, oh my God, there is, this big world outside of corporate, and all the rules I've been taught, I'm subscribed to. I call that kind of like the cultural playbook that so many of us like receive from where we're from as an immigrant, and also how we adapt ourselves, I'm in the US, so in the corporate America. So I really took the time to look into what's influencing my own worldview, my decision, what's the playbook that I inherited. And with that awareness, really consciously think about what really worked for me in a way that I want to keep or even evolve, and what just didn't work that I want to just, say goodbye to them. And it's in the every like carefully like examine of like the shoot that come up for me. I like slowly to kind of let that go and start writing my own rules on how I want to live my life. So because of my own experience, I really feel passionate in terms of helping immigrant women leaders to really be able to dream big and design and reach, their own definition of success in not only career, but also in their life. Yeah, so that's what I've been doing for a few years now. I'm really loving it.
I love it. Well, thanks for sharing that. We definitely need more, women like you showing, especially women who are not, well, immigrant women, what's possible, right? We need that support system. We need to know that there's someone out there who's helping you, who has a helping hand to take you into their greatness. So I really love what you're doing. And I love that you mentioned about, creating your own playbook, because especially in Asian culture, we've been handed down the same playbook, the same playbook for generation after generation after generation after generation, thinking that's the only playbook we have when really we can create our own. So I really love that you mentioned that. And what's your favorite self-confidence quote?
I have a few, but I think right now my favorite one is, don't get rid of imposter syndrome, get good at it. And I love it because when actually I have many people, especially women, come to me and say, "Oh my God, I really want to have more confidence. I oh I feel like an imposter all the time, especially the higher I go, right?" And many want to just like dissolve it. They don't even want to have it. They want to avoid it, things like that. But the truth is, the moment that we feel that we are an imposter, that actually means we're expanding ourselves, right? If we don't feel it, if we do things that we can do so well with our eyes closed, how bored is that going to be, right? So I taught myself that now when I feel that imposters in me, I actually like pat myself in the shoulder and say, "Hey, good job, Wen," because that means you're expanding, right? And because of that, then I start to look at things from a different perspective. And I knew that it's always going to be there, and I'm okay with it, knowing that I'm doing more and more to expand myself.
I love that perspective because we all go through imposter syndrome, right? Just like we go through fears, right? We're afraid to go up on stage, we're afraid to take a video, but it's, like you mentioned, a sign of expansion. And instead of being afraid of it, we embrace it, right? Being fearless isn't about having no fears, it's really about having fears and doing it anyway, right? Getting over imposter syndrome is being aware that you feel this way and it's okay because we're human and just going with it anyway. So I really love that perspective and that quote that you mentioned. And own words, how do you define self-confidence?
I love that you touch the human perspective, right? We're all human. So, of course, we feel the fears. My definition of self confidence is that I believe that I'm worthy as a birthright. I don't need it from, outside somewhere else. I already have it. And I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. And I think with that belief, I really learned to accept all my flaws, all the experiences I gain, given, good or bad, all the gifts and talents that I have. And they're all perfect for, who I am at this moment. And I feel like with that, it's really, yeah, anything comes in, it's all point me to the direction of something new that I get to learn. So in that sense, I have like really a feeling of calmness in me whenever kind of I see things.
I love that definition because I think we are all born with self-confidence, but life gets in the way. Sometimes our culture gets in the way, society gets in the way, tells you all kinds of things. It's programmed into your head when really it's been inside us for the longest time. And we just need to learn how to take it back again so that we can live our best lives and show up as our authentic selves. So I really loved your definition of self-confidence. And what was your life like before you discovered self-confidence?
Great question. I won't say it's discovered because, like you said, we all have it. It's almost like finding our way back to it, right? That's how I see it. Before I have that realization, I always feel like something that I want is out there, right? It's not within my reach, or I need to work hard to get it. So I just keep waiting, or I keep, fitting, and I keep wanting to get validations like from my work, my friends, or even my partners, right? Like I seek outward for others to give love and confidence to me instead of just giving it to myself. So that's where, what I was like before. And it's not a great place.
I totally get it, especially as women, right? We always been told to like wait. You wait for the guy to ask you or girl to ask you. You wait for, people to come to you. You don't go out there and make the first move because it's not ladylike. And we're just waiting, thinking something's going to appear when it's not. And we get frustrated and then we feel like we have we have nothing to give, we're not worthy. And as women, we got to go out there and too just take those opportunities, make the first move. And also, like, Hollywood doesn't make it any better because they have these romantic movies where you're always waiting, You're always for someone to save you, when really the only person who can save you is yourself. And so what was that moment when you realized like you were more than enough to go out there and be who you are today? What was that aha moment?
To me, it's not one moment. I almost feel like it's a journey of finding way back to myself. I think the biggest insight that start me on the journey is to understand if we want anything on the outside to change, the only way out is in. So, like you said, like instead of waiting, I start to think about what would it look like if I'm the answer that I'm waiting for, right? If I can be the solution for me, oh my God, the world is going to be so different, right? And it's, I feel like it's like moment by moment, really going deep into myself, that building up. And even, like I said, understanding I need to go in to change anything outside of me, and learning that I am the solution for the problem I created. And even for the thought of I'm born worthy, like it took me a while to really land there. Like it's a continuous process of me willing to look into what I rejected before, or what I feel like pain and uncomfortable. Okay, I think what that is, the part of me that I rejected before, I learned to accept it now. And to me, little by little, I start to, take that piece back. And that's the process that I start to feel like, okay, I'm really owning it myself, feeling it in my body, and feel like a whole, and really feel that confidence.
I love that you mentioned you took it little by little, because most people think they have to make a big leap to build confidence, when it's really the small, actionable daily steps is what really yields the big results. Everyone's always like, what's your number one tip to build confidence? I'm just like, take it one step at a time, right? Don't go crazy. Like, the, because it's within those little steps that makes the big results, right? It's like, if you were to work out and you want to lift weights, you're not going to start with 40 pounds. You're going to start maybe with pounds, right? And then little by little, you can increase it to 4, 6, 8, till you get to the 40. And it builds your confidence along the way. So I love that you mentioned that. And because of your realization, what's your life been like now?
So I really looked at pain and fears in very different light, because I learned that when I have fear, that is actually a great indicator for what I truly desire. So I really go, really try to go after it. So a great example is I have a fear of showing up fully my almost my entire life, but here I am, right, talking to you, because it also points me to my desire to be really seen, right? To know that my message is important, right? So when I can look at that in different light and really accept and forgive myself for any judgment that I have, so I learn to really take steps consistently to get to what I really want. And also, I think with the more confidence I gain, the more I can dream like bigger and bigger, like, like working with you, publishing a book, things like that. I couldn't have imagined myself doing that before, but now I'm like, why not, right? Yeah, so after I step more into who I am, I start to look at the world almost like a playground, right? Like, what's the opportunity here? What's the new thing I can try? What I can learn, things like that. And everything kind of like point me to get more confident while I'm being more of who I am.
Yeah, I love that. And we're so excited for your book to come out. You're part of Inspiring Women Professionals Who Boss Up, and your story is definitely going to be a story that people can resonate with, can relate to, and be inspired. And, we're just excited to have you here and have the courage to share your story, be seen, especially as Asian women. We're like the most invisible people ever, like we're told to stay in the background, never make any noise, like you mentioned, just follow the cultural playbook, but that doesn't work for us. And so being able to show up as yourself, like it's a huge change, a huge impact for yourself in a positive way. And to the woman who's listening to your episode, she may be in her own journey to self-confidence. What would be that one tip you would give to her?
The biggest one probably is that confidence is the result. You don't need confidence to do anything. It's actually funny how backward we have it be. See, when we were in elementary school, like fourth grade, when we get into fifth grade, we never say like, oh, fifth grade sounds scary. I don't want to do it. I'm not good enough for it, right? We just did it. But now we feel, we taught ourselves that confidence is needed before we do anything, but that's actually not right. Confidence is the result of us taking tiny actions, like you said, right? Like, what's the very next step? It can be tiny, it can be big, depends on where you are. But as long as you are taking that tiny action, you will get confidence in results. So yeah, I think that's, and also I think in that process, you will also discover more of like who you are and really step into it.
I love it. Thanks for sharing that great tip. And when, if our listeners wanted to get to know a little bit about you and what you do, check out your coaching services or pre-order a copy of your upcoming book. Is there any links or social media profiles we can connect with?
I have a website, wencoaching.com, and I'm on LinkedIn also with the Wen Coaching on LinkedIn. You can search, you should be able to find me. Yeah, I think those two are the best place to reach me.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And to our listeners, if you want to connect with Wen, you can also head on over to the taoofselfconfidence.com and search for Wen's name. Her show notes will pop up along with everything else that we talked about. And I just really want to thank Wen today for sharing her journey and her wisdom with us. I'm so honored to have her here. So thank you so much, Wen.
Thank you, Sheena. This is really fun.
Not a problem. It was such an honor to have you on the show. And to our listeners, be on the lookout for another new episode of another amazing woman's journey to self-confidence. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now. Thank you for tuning in to another amazing episode of The Tao of Self-Confidence. You can order your copy of Asian Women Who Boss Up book by visiting our website at thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Your inner journey to self-confidence awaits.